Judicial discretion, and I would perhaps just amend that to also include quasi-judicial discretion, because this House now sits as a quasi-judicial body. So, honorable senators, that issue of whether there was a sitting is at length canvassed in both the county assembly's documents and the governor's responses. And for that reason, it therefore cannot form part of a preliminary objection. We shall be, of course, adducing evidence to show that there were sittings of the Assembly on those 2 dates, even though there were attempts to scuttle those sittings. Honorable Senators, as I conclude my submissions, we shall lead evidence at the opportune time to show that there was vandalism at the offices of the County Assembly and that the said vandalism was orchestrated by the governor or at his direction. That is the evidence that we shall bring here. We shall also lead evidence, honorable senators, to show that there has been a pattern of attempts to scuttle these impeachment proceedings right from the start, and these attempts were made by the governor. We shall adduce evidence to show that the governor took every possible step, whether legal or otherwise, to try and stop and scuttle these impeachment proceedings. For these reasons, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, we submit that it is necessary and this House ought to rule that that PO is untenable and that we proceed with hearing of the full case. My colleague will finalize our submissions. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker and members of the Senate, I'll just take a few minutes just to conclude our remarks on behalf of the County Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I would just like to highlight the two-faced approach to the contest raised by the governor. On the one hand, the governor is saying that there was no motion, no resolution passed that is capable of coming before the Senate.
Counsel, for the sake of the Hansard, kindly state your name.
Honorable Speaker, my name is Paulo. Honorable Speaker, before I proceed, my name is Paul Wafula. I'm an advocate. I'm part of the team representing the County Assembly. Honorable Speaker, given the disruption, may I kindly request that I be added some time since I have not utilized my time.
4 minutes.
Most obliged. Honorable Speaker and members of the Senate, I would kindly request to conclude the remarks of the County Assembly by demonstrating the two-faced nature of the contest that the governor has raised. On the one hand, Honorable Speaker and members of the Senate, you are being told that there was no resolution passed by the County Assembly to impeach the governor. And it is for that reason that my learned friends took detailed time to take you through the Hansard, through their evidence, just to show that actually there was no motion or no resolution passed. On the other hand, they have made it a point to say that there is a resolution. However, that resolution has been declared null and void by a High Court order. Ipso facto, what the governor is saying, on the other hand, is that actually the County Assembly sat and passed a resolution. And on the second hand, they took that resolution and went to the court, where the court adjudicated on that resolution and found it to be null and void. Honorable Senators and the Speaker, the governor needs to take a position. Is it that there was no resolution or there was a resolution? Honorable Speaker and members of the Senate, you have not been told in any uncertain terms there is any constitutional or statutory provision barring this House from conducting its business today. You have not been told that there is any court order barring these proceedings. Absent those two parameters, it is our submission that there is no preliminary objection capable of being sustained in these proceedings. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, you will note from the various remarks made by my learned friends for the governor and ourselves that the record of whether or not the County Assembly of Isiolo sat is contested. There is a rebuttable explanation for that, and that can only be made when the County Assembly is given an opportunity to present its case. On that basis alone, Honorable Senators and Speaker, we kindly ask this House to disregard the PO raised in the manner it deserves and proceed to hearing. Most obliged.
Thank you. Be rise.
To the Honorable Senate, that we intend to raise two preliminary issues for the consideration of the Senate. And the issue, Honorable Speaker, is contained in Volume 1 of the document that we filed. In response, we filed several documents, but Volume 1 contains the preliminary issue that we intend to raise. Honorable Speaker, with your leave, I can then quickly delve into that question. The Honorable Speaker, we had noted from the order of proceedings that was supplied by the Senate that this session would take about 1 hour. I propose 2 hours, with 1 hour on our side. I propose to take about 30 minutes or less introducing the first limb of the preliminary issue we intend to raise. Thereafter, my colleague Elisha Ongoya will take 20 minutes, and I will reserve 10 minutes for any rejoinders which will be handled by our colleague, Mr. Elias Mutuma. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members of the Senate, with your permission, we would then move to raise the preliminary question.
So what you're saying is you require 1 hour to effectively move your preliminary issue?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay. I'll grant you 1 hour, and also I'll grant the County Assembly 1 hour to respond to your preliminary issues. You may proceed, and time starts running from now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. The Honorable Speaker and honorable members of the Senate, on the 26th of June 2025, the Speaker of the Isiolo County Assembly issued a press communication at around 3 p.m. announcing that the County Assembly had resolved to impeach the Honorable Abdi Ibrahim Hassan, Governor of the Isiolo County. This communication will be found in Bundle 3 of our volume, that is Volume 3, at pages 2, 3, 4, and 5. This release is significant in these proceedings as it marks, in our view, the announcement of a phantom impeachment of the governor, and we will shortly demonstrate the salient gaps and schemes, and hopefully persuade the Senate to reject this phantom impeachment. The Honorable Speaker and honorable senators, the press release by the Speaker of the Isiolo County government triggers a very important question, and that is the question upon which our first limb of the preliminary objection stands. What is in law a resolution of the County Assembly? The Isiolo County Assembly Standing Orders, and specifically Standing Order 65-8, provides that when a motion for the removal of the governor is passed by at least 2/3 of all the members of the Assembly, the Speaker shall inform the Speaker of the Senate of that resolution within 2 days. You will find this resolution from the Assembly in the Assembly's volume, that is Volume 3, at pages 100. So, Honorable Speaker and honorable members of the Senate, it is our submission that for the power of the Senate to be invoked under Standing Order 80, the Speaker of the Senate must receive a resolution from the Speaker of the County of Assembly. So therefore, there is a test that is twofold. The first test is that there is a resolution, and the next is that it is supported by 2/3 of the members of the Assembly. Honorable Speaker and honorable members of the Senate, in forwarding this resolution, the Senate Standing Orders, the third schedule of the Standing Orders, and the Senate's guide manual on the procedure and rules for removal of county governments developed in 2025 require certain documents to be submitted together with the resolution. And that is the impeachment motion, the County Assembly Hansard, the division of voters list, the advertisement of the summons to the governor, the list of witnesses of advocates, the list of advocates, list of witnesses, records and videos, and other evidence. It is our submission that this has a very good purpose. This requirement has a good purpose, and it now fits into the preliminary objection that, or the preliminary issue that we raised. Honorable Speaker and the honorable senators, I will then invite you to examine the documents that were presented alongside the resolution from the Speaker of the Isiolo County Assembly in support of the fact that there was a resolution adopted by the Assembly to remove the governor. I will refer the Senate to the Assembly documents, and that is at volume 3 of the Assembly documents, that pages 1 to 6, which has the order paper for the 18th, and that order paper ultimately indicates that the motion for the removal of the governor was adjourned to Thursday, the 26th of June, 2025, at 2:30. That time is extremely material to these proceedings. The Hansard for the 18th of June, 2025, at pages 7 to 14, that is still volume 3 of the Assembly documents, indicates that the proceedings for removal of the governor were also adjourned to 26th of June, 2025 at 2:30. At pages 15 and 16, that is still of volume 3, there is an invitation to the governor to attend. That invitation invites the governor to attend the assembly on the 26th at 9 a.m. Honorable Speaker, volume 5 of the Assembly's documents at pages 3 and 4 contains the affidavit of service of that invitation served by the Speaker. So there is no doubt whatsoever that the governor is invited to appear at 9 a.m. on the 26th. The Speaker, in volume 5, also presents a document for the special sitting of the Assembly. It is dated 23rd of June, 2025, and that sitting is indicated to commence at 9 a.m. Honorable Speakers and Honorable Senators, it is therefore not in any doubt that the Assembly set the hearing of the motion for the at 9 a.m. 26th of June. I now refer the Honorable Senate to the Isiolo standing orders. Standing order, specifically standing order number 1, it is found at volume 3, pages 85 and 86, on the times set for the sitting of the Assembly, and that is 9 a.m. for Wednesdays and 2:30 for Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I do not need to say this because you're familiar with these times. It therefore follows that if the Assembly is to meet at any other time other than as set out in the standing orders, there must be a resolution to that effect. And so, therefore, the logical question that we are asking the Senate is this: is the Hansard genuine? Because the Hansard talks about a sitting conducted at 2:30 p.m. That is in line with the standing orders. But the notices, the invitation, and the special sitting issued by the Speaker talk about a sitting to be conducted at 9 a.m. So therefore, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Senators, we invite you, the Senate, to take note of the above, and then allow us to also review the Hansard that is provided. You probably understand the Hansard much better than we do, and I refer you to the Hansard for the 18th of June 2025, which clearly shows that the Assembly was adjourned to 26th of June at 2:30 p.m., and I refer you to Volume 3 still of the Assembly's documentation. The issues that you will note when you review the answer is that, first of all, it is not certified by the clerk as is required. It just bears a stamp. To address you on this issue, and I invite my senior Elisha Ngoya to take us on the second limb of our preliminary issue.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, distinguished senators. As indicated, my name is Elisha Ngoya, lead counsel for the governor. Before I address you on another substantive preliminary question on an existing court order touching on these matters, allow me to invite my learned colleague, Mr. Elias Mutuma, to wind up on that issue of the proceedings before the Assembly by drawing your attention to certain salient material aspects of the purported Hansards that have been presented before you, so that you have all that in consideration. Then I'll move to the next subject. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable senators, for the opportunity. The council representing the County Assembly will be here shortly to try and convince you that what we have raised is not a preliminary objection, but requires an interrogation by way of listening to witnesses and making a determination based on what they will say. But our submission is simple, honorable senators, that what we have raised is a pure PO that can be addressed and determined based on what has been presented by the County Assembly of Isiolo. Honorable senators, my understanding of Hansard's records is that they are a verbatim record of what transpires in a House proceedings. Therefore, they are able to tell us exactly what happened on the day that that motion is said to have been passed. We have raised an issue with proceedings that are said to have taken place on the 18th of June 2025, and proceedings that are said to have taken place on 26th of June 2025. Honorable senators, with your kind permission, kindly hold your volume 3 of the County Assembly's documents. I will take a very short time to take you through the Hansards, and this being a house that is also a house that is very much familiar with proceedings in the House, you'll be able to tell me whether there is anything that took place there. At page 7 of that bundle, we have been presented with what is said to be the proceedings of 18th of June 2025. Page 7 of 7 of volume 3 of the documents. Page 7. We see the House purportedly sitting for the first time. There is no communication from the chair. There is no calling of orders by the clerk. Straight away, the mover of the motion proceeds to execute the business of the day. Look at it. It is straight away withdrawal of the motion on the impeachment of Isiolo County Government dated 10th June 2025. What does it begin with? Honorable Abubakar Kodana. Honorable senators, who presided over this session? there is no invitation from the Speaker for the mover of the motion to proceed and execute the business of the day. Let's proceed. Honorable Abubakar Godana proceeds and proposes a motion to withdraw the previous motion and invites two members of the County Assembly, Honorable Nicholas Lorot and David Nyoro, to second the motion. Without again the intervention of the Speaker, these two members rise and they proceed to second the motion. So who invites them to the floor? Who is presiding over this House? Let's go on. The two members support the withdrawal of the motion, and the Speaker now is seen for the very first time. There is no question put to the members. There is no vote that has taken place, but the Speaker proceeds to say, the members, the notice of the special motion or the removal from office by impeachment, the Governor of Isiolo County issued on Tuesday, 10th June 2025, has been officially removed as requested by the mover, Honorable Bakar, member for Sericho Ward. We now proceed to the next business. So who approved this withdrawal? Who approved this withdrawal? Where is the vote? Let's proceed. Honorable Senators, we proceed to the Hansard now of 26 when the Governor is being purportedly impeached. That's at page 23 of the same document. There is a communication from the chair. The first order of business, you will come across the order paper at page 17, where we have a total of 8 orders of the day. 8. But when you go to page 23, we do not see the clerk calling out the orders. Just look at it. It is the Speaker directly proceeding to make a communication. Is that an anomaly, Honorable Senators? We are all familiar with the business of the day. But what intrigues me more, Honorable Senators, the first order of the day here is to lay on the table the purported public participation report, which is done by Honorable David Lemantile, allegedly. He prosecutes his motion and argues on the public participation. Let's go to the end at page 31. But before that one, let's go slightly at page 30, where he completes his submissions. After laying the paper, public participation, we now see Honorable Peter Losu standing up to second this motion. Who has invited him to second this motion? Out of nowhere, he's not invited by anyone, but Hansards show that he rose to second this motion. And then the Speaker proposes the question and it opens the floor to the members of the House. At page 31, the last member seen to be speaking is Honorable Francis Letimalo. The Speaker now puts the question. So what happens after the question was put, Honorable Senators? There is no record whatsoever of what transpired. Nothing. A question is put, there is no indication that the House actually endorsed the public participation report. That Hansard is left hanging. Honorable Senators, after that paper is laid, the Speaker does not even call for the next order. The clerk is not seen anywhere calling for the next order. Instead, what do we see? Honorable Abubakar Godana is seen now on the floor. Answers are supposed to be capturing verbatim what transpires. So who was in charge of this house? Where is the Speaker's recording inviting the move of the motion to move the motion? Where is the recording of the clerk inviting, or rather calling for the order, for the next order? There is nothing. Instead, we just see someone on the floor prosecuting the motion. And he proceeds and proceeds. At page 35, he's done. Strangely, the first paragraph at the top of page 35, when he completes to execute his motion, he does not invite anyone to even second. Records are there. But we see one Honorable Major Golicha now standing up to second the impeachment motion. Who has invited him? There is no one. And other members, strangely now, so the House is suddenly in an autopilot. So from Honorable Major, then we see the Speaker opening the floor. You have Honorable Peter Losu. He continues. Without the intervention of the Speaker, there is another member, Honorable Salesio Kiambi, who proceeds as if the Speaker is not in this House, as if the clerk is not in this House, and proceeds. Another member just rises up from nowhere. There is no recording of the Speaker inviting any member to make a contribution to this motion. Apart from, of course, page 39, when suddenly the person cooking this answer realizes the Speaker has not been captured in this, and now we see the Speaker for the first time. In conclusion, because I do not want to take time that my senior is going to take to address you on the other issue, look at page 41. After the members purportedly complete to make their submissions, the Speaker makes very strange remarks, and I quote at page 41. Clerk, is the governor or his legal representative available? Sergeant at Arm, can you check around if the governor or his legal representative are present? The Speaker does not even take time to communicate to the House whether the governor had been invited. He does not even read that invitation notice as required. So why is he calling for the governor, whom Learned Counsel had told you was invited to appear at 9 and we at 2 o'clock? The Speaker is not seen anywhere saying that we invited the governor by this letter and he has not come, but instead asked the clerk to check whether the governor is available anywhere. Let's proceed. I'm completing, Honorable Senators, and this is going to shock you. So, when the governor was confirmed was not in the House, the Speaker proceeds to guide the House on the next move. At the end of that page, 41, I read what the Speaker says. When the doors, I'm reading the last part, when the doors have been locked and the bar drawn and the names of the tellers have been announced, the Speaker shall, this is the Speaker telling them, the Speaker shall put the question again in the presence of the tellers. When called out, each member shall thereupon rise in his or her place and declare assent or dissent to the question in the following manner. I vote yes or I vote nay. Proceeds. Honorable Senators, page 42. Where does the Speaker put that question to the members of the House present? There is no question put whatsoever. She has just told them that he needs to put that question again. There is no question put. So what were these members voting for or against? There is no question put. Honorable Senators, We then need to sit here and invite witnesses on the stand to demonstrate that there was no proceedings that took place on 26th and 18th. I rest my case.